Ladies and gentlemen, baby faces, and all my true heels out there, what's going on? I am Richie Moon, and this is Richie's Raw Recap. And before we get into today's Raw, make sure to like, share, and subscribe on our way to 1K for the latest and greatest in wrestling news. Tap into True Heel Heat Wrestling. Now, let's get into this review. So the first Raw of the new year, January 4th, 2021. I want to emphasize that again. January 4th, 2021. First Raw of the new year opens up with Hulk Hogan. Right. It opens up with the H phone, and they were putting this over like smartphones were a new thing and social media had just been invented. There's the H phone, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, and then there's Hulk Hogan. Right, so Raw opens up properly with Miz TV flanked by John Morrison. The New Day come down there. They act like they usually goofy selves, taking over his show. The Miz gets up, blows a gasket, and because it's Legend Night, Teddy Long came out there, play a player for an impromptu tag team match. But before we got to the tag team match, old habits die hard, and Teddy Long said, you know, if you watch SmackDown back in the day, he said it's going to be a 2-on-1 match versus The Undertaker. I thought that was pretty funny. If you watch SmackDown back in the day, you know. If you don't, you really didn't miss anything. And, I mean, the thing about this match is The Miz got reinstated as Mr. Money in the Bank, and the New Day just mopped the floor with them, just whooped their ass. The New Day looked great, won in convincing fashion. Xavier Woods, Shining Wizard, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, that was it. Next up, we had Randy Orton backstage, and he was really pissed off at himself. Last week's episode of Raw left off on a crazy cliffhanger with Randy Orton about to burn Alexa Bliss, but he said that he didn't, and that he was mad that he didn't listen to the voices in his head, and he decided not to. He says, you know, when you go against the Fiend, it changes you, and I guess maybe he's gotten a little bit softer. Whatever the case may be, you know, this is Legends Night on Raw, and we do have a legend killer in the form of the Apex Predator, Randy Orton, so we'll see how that turns out for the rest of the night. Next up, we had Angel Garza walk around backstage, and he had his infamous rose, literally trying to seduce any woman that's within 6 feet of him, and then he came upon legend Alicia Fox. Whatever. Then he came upon Mickie James, Sergeant Slaughter, and a full gear Tatanka. Now just imagine, you just tune in and you just see Tatanka in full gear, and he doesn't say a damn thing, and Angel Garza is still trying to any woman within the vicinity of him. Legends Night! So last week on Raw, AJ Styles beat Elias clean. And this week on Raw, AJ Styles beat Elias clean, but with a Styles clash this time. That's it. That's really all I got. The highlight of this match actually came after this match. So Jason Riker got in the ring, and he was about to take Styles' head off of the guitar, and then almost literally kicks the guitar, smashes it to pieces, move AJ to the back of him, and it protects AJ. That's it. That's literally the highlight of it. But I mean, almost looks awesome. So yeah. Next up, we had the Queen Charlotte Flair backstage, and she has officially entered herself into the Royal Rumble. She said she was going to win. She said all the odds were stacked up against her last year, and she won. She's entering this year. She says the odds are stacked up against her again. She says she's going to win, and you know what? She probably will, because she's Charlotte Flair. So Matt Riddle's backstage getting ready for his match against Bobby Lashley. He runs into the Big Show and he says, "Hey, Big Show, you should have been the Big Bro." And then the Big Show goes, "It's the Big Bro." And then Riddle, you know, gets himself out of there, and then Randy Orton comes out of there, and he threatens the Big Show, but the Big Show like really doesn't react, and he's bringing up the past, and he's saying, you know, he took him out of action, and the Big Show just says, "No, you didn't take me out of action." And I think this is kind of leading to maybe the Big Show appearing in the Royal Rumble, but RKO living up to his AKA name, being the Legend Killer, though he really didn't kill any legends this night. But he did kill a man, though, because he's a murderer. Next up, we had Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce versus Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Does anybody Anybody out there want to tell me why they broke up the Iconics? Because now she's just in another random tag team, but you should have just kept Billie Kay and Peyton Royce together because they went so good together, and Billie Kay is freaking hilarious, and Peyton Royce is good too, but she's in just these random tag teams. Anyway, they had a match, and they won. I mean, wait, what? Is that part of the script? Yeah, they won. They won. So Ric Flair was out there because Legends Night, and he met triple Peyton Royce. He ended up tripping up Charlotte Flair, and then Peyton Royce came out and hit her with the roll up. And you know, whenever we do the roll up, the hands have to come out because it's the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling. And Charlotte Flair came out there. She got in her dad's face. She told him to stay out of her business. And Ric Flair looked like he was gonna cry. I don't know why we did that to Rick. I don't know why we do that to Rick. Yeah. Legends Night! Drew McIntyre and Sheamus were backstage while Drew was taping up his wrist, getting ready for his main event title match against Keith Lee later that match, when all of a sudden Jimmy Hart and Hulk Hogan came over there, and Jimmy Hart said some things through his loudspeaker and annoyed Sheamus, and then Hulk Hogan came over there and said, "Brother, you look great, brother, and you look like you're eating your vitamins, brother, and you're saying your prayers, brother," and at the end, and did a big pose. Yeah, I like that, brother. Legends Night! Next up on Raw, we had Matt Riddle, just call him Riddle, versus the United States Champion, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley has been super protected in these last couple of months. I thought they had a really good match, and at the end, Bobby Lashley gets Riddle in the Hurt Lock. He actually taps out, but the referee doesn't see it. Lashley lets him go. He goes over to the ref and is like, "Yo, I want a match." The ref is like, "What are you talking about?" So while he's distracted, Riddle comes and hits him with the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling, the surprise roll-up. And you know, whenever the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling comes out, so do the hands. And yeah, so here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with a surprise roll-up, but it's called the law of diminishing return. When you keep doing surprise roll-up and distraction finish and surprise roll and distraction finish, when you actually do it and it's supposed to mean something, it ends up losing something because it's always been there. Yeah? Get it? Right? Get it? Got it? Good. Legends Night! So the next thing we see is a cut backstage, and Ricochet is talking to Mark Henry, and Ricochet is saying, "Yeah, I'm going to stay strong." I'm honestly assuming that Mark Henry just told Ricochet, "Dude, when is your contract up? Yeah, get out of here, because they're not using you right at all." I mean, seriously, when is Ricochet's contract up? So after Ricochet leaves, Randy Orton comes up to him and says, Oh, Mark Henry, remember the past when we had the Hall of Pain and we had all the matches, and I should really kick your ass now. And Mark Henry's like it's not a wheelchair, but he's like in a scooter because his leg is apparently hurt. And I'm thinking all these legends may appear in the Royal Rumble. WWE, your roster is large enough. You don't need any of these guys in the Rumble. You really don't. But hey, listen, kudos, hats off to Randy Orton, because he said he was going to be a legend killer, and he was going around there making all threats all night. He didn't kill any legends, but he did kill a man because he's a murderer. Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Charlie Caruso were backstage, and for obvious reasons, Bobby Lashley was pissed off. That was his first loss in months, and really, he lost by a fluke because he got the surprising roll-up Matt Riddle did on him. Only call him Riddle. And MVP said, "Listen, man, Riddle, you done did it now. You done pissed the big man off." Riddle says he's going to, Lashley said he's going to beat Riddle's punk ass when he sees him next time. And I think this is a justification for Riddle to get a title shot. He pinned the champion, no matter the nefarious means. And so I guess at the Royal Rumble, we're going to get Bobby Lashley versus Riddle. Don't call him out. And our next match on Monday Night Raw was Mandy Rose versus Shayna Baszler. But as Mandy Rose was making her way down there, Shayna Baszler just came down there, grabbed that girl up with the Cure Field clutch, and choked her out. And Dana Brooke, who comes out now like a generic wrestler, like when you create a wrestler, she just comes out like this really generic music, and she just stands and does this. And she comes and just does this. She comes down there and she has an impromptu match, player with Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler quickly gets her in a Kira for a clutch, but then Dana Brooke rolls her up while she's still in a Kira for a clutch in her street clothes, and Dana Brooke beats Shayna Baszler. Right. Shayna Baszler would not let go of the Kira for a clutch. Mandy Rose came over there with the Rose trigger, breaks it up. They double team Shayna Baszler to get her out of the ring. And I'm pretty sure they threw her over the top rope to allude to the Royal Rumble. But yeah, Dana Brooke in street clothes beat Shayna Baszler. Legends Night! Did I forget to mention that I mean, technically, Shayna Baszler beat her with the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling. I just wanted an excuse to bring out the hands. God damn it. Randy Orton was backstage with Ric Flair, and I mean, Randy Orton just living up to his name, being a legend killer, telling Ric Flair that he's just an old man, he's a stupid old man, he's not what he used to be, and that his daughter is 10 times better than him, and that he's a stupid, stupid old man. I mean, that's not what he said, but that's essentially what he said. And Randy Orton just, like, what a dick. And Ric Flair just looked like he about to cry. Broke his heart to pieces. First he had Charlotte Flair early in the night breaking his heart. Now Randy Orton breaking his heart. Potentially wants to break his face. Just leave Rick alone. That's not how you treat legends. But this all leads into a match with Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. And yeah, Randy Orton just beat Jeff Hardy. I mean, he fingered his ears like he did in the Hell in a Cell a couple of years ago. Jeff Hardy went for the twist of fate. Randy Orton reversed it into an RKO, and boom, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's it. Legends Night. Okay, so let's unpack this, right? I'm just tell you what happened. So Melina was backstage. The returning Melina, the returning Melina, who we haven't seen in years, is backstage with Lucha Underground. And she just says words, 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 words. Lucha, Lucha, Lucha. And that's it. I mean, literally, that's it. So for all those Melina fans that are really waiting for that big return, she was backstage and said Lucha, Lucha, Lucha. And yeah. And then the Lucha Bros had a match with the Hurt Biz, and they actually beat the Hurt Biz because Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin couldn't get on the same page, because Cedric Alexander kept blind tagging himself in further in that storyline that maybe Alexander is getting a bit too big for his bridges. I do like that storyline, and this resulted in a loss to Lucha, I'm about to call them the Lucha Bros, to Lucha House Party. And MVP was on commentaries the entire time. He was hilarious, and I love at the end of it, Cedric Alexander's like, yo, I'm not embarrassed. I'm fine. I mean, I didn't lose, so yeah. And you know, it was a quick match, and it also ended with a surprise roll up, which is the most devastating move in all of wrestling. The only move besides Kenny's One Wing Angel that nobody kicks out of, because you guessed it, Legends Night. I don't even know where to start. It was the book, but then it was, and she brought, just to say that he was, okay, all right, okay, let's start from the top. Let's unpack this, right? So, we see Tori Wilson, Legends Night, with Nikki Cross, and they're talking, and Angel Garza come up with his rose because Angel Garza just can't help but try to have sex with every single woman that he ever sees. And he's showing off his 24/7 championship belt, which was his first mistake. And then Tori Wilson says, hey, Cardi B and Kylie Jenner and somebody else in pop culture is backstage. So then Angel Garza creeps backstage and says, hey Cardi, because, you know, she will be on Monday Night Raw with no advertisement in the backstage in a dark room that shows up on hour 3. And he walks back there, and then it's the boogeyman. I'm coming to get you. Well, I mean, at least on the upside of this, WWE definitely did get some mainstream attention because Cardi B tweeted, Vince, this is how I make my debut, what the F? And I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line, probably at WrestleMania or something, we will see Cardi B enter the WWE universe. She has said a long time ago that she is a fan of the WWE, naming Eddie Guerrero, amongst some other people, as her favorite WWE wrestlers. But wait! There's more, because I forgot to add, my man Ron Simmons was there, and as Angel Garza was backing out of the room because he was so surprised that it wasn't Cardi B, R-Truth comes over there and hits him. He hits him with it again, the most devastating move in all of pro wrestling. Known that Kenny Omega's one-win Angel, it is the surprise roll up, and R-Truth becomes the 100,000th time 24/7 championship. And then, you know, my man Ron Simmons comes, and this is one of my most favorite bits. I don't care. Darn! Next up was the main event, and for some reason, I guess because WWE figured we didn't use all of them enough, all the legends are sitting on the Raw stage, and they're getting ready for the main event of Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee. Now listen, there's been a lot of hoopla, a little bit of the hoopla, a lot of it of the hoopla going around with Raw, but this match was stellar. Ace. This is, you know, the wrestling is never the bad part of Raw. It's just these matches never have stakes. A lot of them sometimes you just, you know, you're trying to get cross town, which is just running on a treadmill. You're moving, but you're really not going anywhere. That's the way a lot of these storylines are on Raw. But this, oh man, I personally feel like this should have been Keith Lee's first loss. The only issue that I had with this match was the fact that I never believed that Keith Lee was going to win because the way they have built or the way they have not built Keith Lee. They haven't done anything too wrong. I mean, he did lose that match to Miz and Morrison. Even though it was a handicap match, what was the point of him losing? He lost that match to Braun Strowman. What was that point of losing? Just like I said, if this would have been Keith Lee's first loss, then we would have all been going into this match like, oh crap, could Drew McIntyre lose this match? But this is a really great match. You should definitely go out of your way to see it. Keith Lee is going for the Spirit Bomb. Drew creeps out of the back door, shoots off the ropes, boom, Claymore kick. And the camera pans on Keith Lee, and Keith Lee's kind of been showing a little bit of a darker side, a little bit of a meaner side. It looks like Keith Lee maybe might turn heel, but he doesn't. He gives the fist pound to Drew, and that's a really great moment. Drew hops on the mic, and I'm pretty sure he's about to put over what hell of a competitor that Keith Lee is and what great of a match that is. Well, all of a sudden, doom. Fast forward, and Goldberg comes out. Goldberg comes out there, and I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure that Goldberg was supposed to say that promo to Randy Orton, because he comes out there saying, I'm not out here to threaten you, but you don't respect any of the legends and blah, blah, and blah, 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 blah. And he might as well just been saying that because it absolutely makes zero sense. Drew McIntyre has been always super duper respectful to all the legends. And did we forget a couple of months ago when Drew McIntyre defended all the legends against, oh my goodness, guess it, the legend killer Randy Orton? I'm pretty sure that WWE mixed these segments up, because with that rhetoric and what Goldberg said, why wouldn't he be going after Randy Orton? It literally makes no sense. All I'm asking, WWE, make it make sense. And here it is. I'm going to book this match right now. Royal Rumble, Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, Goldberg face to face. They don't need to do a tie-up, nothing. No punches are thrown, anything. Goldberg 3 spears, jackhammer. Drew McIntyre kicks out at 1, hits 1 Claymore kick, kicks his face in, 1, 2, 3, walks off like nothing happened. That's not a spoiler, that's a prediction, that's how this works. I'm hoping that's how this works. But I mean, honestly, if Goldberg is there to put Drew McIntyre over, then I'm here for it. But if Goldberg beats Drew McIntyre, after that, that's the last Raw review I'm doing. I'm dead serious. I am done. I am done. I am done. We can replay this, and I'm not joking. If Goldberg beats Drew McIntyre, the Raw after Royal Rumble will be my last Raw review because it is just god-awful. Who the hell is booking this crap? But that has been Legends Night, the first Monday Night Raw of 2021. What did you think about it? Was it a hit? Was it a miss? I mean, honestly, I'm going to have to say that the entire episode as a whole was a miss. I mean, just like I said, you're trying to get across town, but you're running on a treadmill, so that means you're moving, but you're really not going anywhere. There's some things that kind of tick along, but for the most part, man, this is just an indictment on the WWE booking, the fact that you have to bring in legends to try to get artificial boost in your ratings because ratings are falling like somebody just took the floor out from under me. Whatever, no here nor there, but this Raw has been better than the last couple of Raws. It's kind of why you haven't seen me, because if they don't care, why the hell should I go out of my way and take my time to edit and craft together these lovely reviews for you? But with that being said, I am Richie Moon. This has been True Heel Heat Wrestling. This has been Raw's Richie's Review. Overall, this show was a miss, but we are on our way to 1K. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe this video. I have been Richie Moon. This has been Richie's Raw Review, and I will see you next week. Peace, love, and light.